I want to show consequences of declaring two properties being equivalent. So again, in the backend, we enabled RDF plus rule base. And here I have two simple statements. One says work for and used by is equivalent properties. And then I have one instance saying worker 1 worked for firm 1. Okay. Let me clean up my graph and then repopulate it. So now I can actually ask a question to see the effect of worked for. In my asserted statement, I said worked for, and I want to see whether the equivalent property assertion actually can be used to infer used by property. So I'm going to ask in that graph, is there anything being used by another thing? So when I run this, as we have expected, we see that worker 1 is used by firm 1. Why is that? Because we said work for is equivalent to use by. Therefore, whenever we use the work for can be replaced by used by. Therefore, the system can inference that worker 1 used by firm 1. Okay. But what if I actually have definitions for used by and work for? I define the domain and range for used by. So I said the range of used by is circus, and the domain is animal. So used by, basically, I want to say animals are used by circus. My work for is actually saying people can work for firm. Okay, so if I do this, as you can see, the computer doesn't know, but we as human beings can tell that animals probably are not equivalent to people, firms are not equivalent to circus. But I want to show you how the system is going to reason, given this appearing to be inconsistent information. Remember, RDFS don't complain. It will just reason based on what you gave it. So let's clean up and repopulate the graph. And in this case, I want to actually find out everything that the system could reason. So I'm going to actually dump the entire statements, including those that were asserted by me, and also the ones that has been inferred by the system. So I ask the system to dump me all the triples. Now we can look at the result, and the result going to be interesting. It also makes sense too. So worker 1 used by firm 1, this is what we told the system. Worker 1 also works for the firm. So as you can tell, the system, and then animal is a class, circus is a class, firm is a class, people is a class, not interesting. But what we see here, firm 1 is actually a circus, right? And we can also see here worker 1. Firm 1 is both a circus and a firm. Worker 1 is animal and worker 1 is people. So this is based on the domain and range reasoning that we have seen before. So this example to show you that RDFS don't complain. It will not tell you there's conflicts. It will just to try to reason based on what you tell it. The result of the reasoning may be unexpected. In this case, we obviously know the firm is not a circus, and some people are not animals. I mean, in that sense. Okay, let's conclude this little demonstration. When we use equivalent property or class assertions, we want to make sure that we actually semantically correct when we say that. We're not going to introduce those strange results down the stream.